This is Jordan Smith with the Elevate Ogden Podcast, where Ogden's influencers and business owners share the very best kept secrets about our city. It is 6 questions in 8 minutes and 44 seconds because every zip code in Ogden starts with 844. So let's get to it. In a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Tim Sessions, and I run the account This Is Ogden. By account, I mean Instagram, a little bit on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, so you can find This Is Ogden there. I've lived in Ogden for 17 years now, which is crazy, longest I've lived anywhere. And I've been doing This Is Ogden for about 8.
Nice. And if you love pictures and scenic pictures of Ogden, it's really one of the best accounts in the city to follow. I've followed the account for a number of years, and they put out some great stuff. So if you want to see the very best kept secrets of Ogden, definitely an account you should follow. What's the hashtag for the account, Tim?
Yeah, so the hashtag, that's how it all started actually, is it's hashtag This Is Ogden. And the idea behind it is if you take a picture of Ogden and you feel like it's worth sharing, hashtag it with This Is Ogden. That kind of is where I get the cue that, okay, maybe this person wants it reposted. So then obviously I'll repost it, give the person credit, give my own kind of commentary on it. And then I also, post the weather and the sunset for that day too. I don't know if anyone ever finds that helpful, but just a little bit of consistency. So it keeps me it keeps me knowing weather and stuff. So that's why I do it. I'm kind of a nerd like that.
Tell us a little bit more too, because you've done This Is Ogden for a number of years, and then you've also recently started doing some hikes throughout the city, and you have a YouTube channel with over 1,000 followers.
Yeah. I set a goal to hit 1,000 subscribers from 300 last year. So I did it. And the main reason is that's what gets you checked off on monetization. So there is a little bit of ad revenue there. A buddy of mine reached out that has a pretty successful YouTube channel. And he said, I was running the analytics and Ogden doesn't really have anything Ogden focused. Sure, there's a ton of videos that you can find about Ogden, but there wasn't one specific channel. And so I thought, what could I contribute? What do I like to do? And what does Ogden have a lot to offer? And so I took to the trails between the popular trails that everyone does, like Waterfall Canyon, Malin's Peak, Hidden Valley. I highlight those, but I also wanted to hit the ones that not a lot of people know about. There's some petroglyphs and hieroglyphs just above Ogden. So if you're interested in those, I didn't even know about those until a couple of years ago. And like I said, I've been here for 17 years. And so finding those, some of the little hidden treasures, quote unquote, about Ogden. And so that's why I did it. And for me, it gets me out. I think last year alone, I did 24 different hikes. And
Wow.
Now that it's getting warmer again, I'll ramp that back up.
Nice. Yeah, with the weather warming up, it'd be definitely advisable to go and follow his YouTube channel. And he's out there doing murder mysteries and exploring hidden caves.
That just started. That's another thing. It's like everyone's into true crime, so why not try to go that angle too? Just follow the trends,
Yeah, definitely a hot YouTube channel to follow if you're an Ogden enthusiast. Tim, what would you say is the best kept secret about Ogden?
I don't know if the sentiment is changing more now, but everyone says Ogden's scary, Ogden's ghetto. It's not. But that can play in our favor as locals because it keeps the community tight-knit and together. Sure, especially for someone like you like to see growth in the community. I do too. It brings, more diversity, more opportunity, more business. But the feedback that you get, and maybe if people are listening to this who aren't from Utah, they probably won't understand this, but that Ogden's always kind of had that rough reputation. That's why the city's mantra is still untamed. But it's not scary. Tons of opportunity here. But if that keeps the people who aren't fearless and ready to grow out and creates room for those of us who are, then great. That's a great secret.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ogden itself is sometimes the best kept secret.
Right.
So I hear from a lot of residents that real estate prices seem to be skyrocketing. Tell me your thoughts.
Absolutely. I bought my house 5 years ago this month, and without doing any major renovations, major improvements, I mean, my equity in it's gone up $100,000. We are in kind of a coveted area up on the east bench there. Due to the recent drops in interest rates, we're definitely investigating refinancing there. And the feedback that I've got in that department is that even if there was a recession, Utah, Ogden, it's not going anywhere. It's not going to dip. It's either going to plateau or continue to grow. Lots of businesses are coming to Ogden, creating thousands of jobs. One in particular that I heard yesterday is Northrop Grumman, bringing in tons of jobs. So that's going to create demand, and obviously demand creates increase. So I think it's going up. If you feel like it's too high now, I also say now's the time to buy, because it is. It's going to hold steady or increase. It's not going down.
Yeah, that's certainly the truth. With those lower interest rates, you have a lot more buying power. I've heard as much as $40,000. And with the way prices are going up, it would probably be advisable to make a move, because Ogden is just having more growth, it seems. Tim, what other local business owners and influencers should be on the Elevate Ogden podcast?
One of my favorites is my buddy Josh. He runs Ogden Made. You've probably seen his merch everywhere. Maybe you have talked to him. I don't know.
I saw him get into the Weber State bookstore just barely.
Yeah, yep. He doesn't have his own brick and mortar, but he is piggybacking off of a lot of those opportunities to get into some of those collectives. Weber State Downtown, Weber State Bookstore, and then his online presence is huge. Indy Ogden, Daniel Matthews, he runs that. He just took it over from the original founder. They've started publishing a magazine, so there's advertising opportunity there, which I thought was a bold move in this day and age. You don't hear too many print magazines going out, especially with the way I've been able to distribute my content without print media. But it's good. It's a good looking magazine, and he has a big vision for it. And then Stock and Barrel, they do leather goods. They have their workshop up in Ogden Canyon. It doesn't get more Ogden than that. He's known more worldwide, but he was actually one of the original dudes from Ogden Made, transitioned into leather bags and wallets, and seems to be doing pretty successful there. So those are my three that I keep my eye on.
Nice. I'm going to definitely reach out to them. The Indy Ogden's particularly interesting because they do an award ceremony every year.
Right.
Which is really kind of interesting. And I think you've attended that a few times, right?
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to win a few awards. I wasn't nominated this year, or This Is Ogden wasn't nominated this year, but I understand it's a community thing, so can't be too upset about that.
What piece of advice would you give for somebody looking to live in Ogden?
Look to invest, whether that you have money to invest. If you have a business idea that you want to start, there's a ton of incentives. If you want to invest your time, if you want to get to know the community a little bit better, there's a ton of opportunities there. I just think about the farmers market, the art strolls. If that's what you want to invest in, is that community feel, there's opportunities. And then, I mean, I know I am talking to a real estate guy, but the real estate opportunities are still here. I mean, I drive from Washington to Harrison every single day, and I'm like, man, if I just had some extra money, I would buy that house, that house, that house. I'm not in the real estate game. That's just the way that my mind works, and the opportunities are here. So I say you can invest in those three ways.
Gotcha. Good piece of advice. What is your favorite place to eat out in Ogden?
It's a toss-up. It depends on how much money I have in my wallet at the time. If I want to go cheap, it's Tony's. If I want to spend a little bit more, it's Roosters on 25th Street. And if I really want to treat myself and those around me, not that Slackwater's fine dining, but I feel like that's more of an occasional occasional place. Hopefully no one from Slackwater gets mad that I didn't call it fine dining. It's great food. But if you want to go cheap, Tony's, Roosters, and Slackwater, if you really want to go out.
Yeah, 3 great places you mentioned for sure. Thank you again, Tim, for being on. What's your website so people can find you?
Yes, it's thisisogden.com. The unique feature about the site is I sell merchandise that kind of illustrates the quirks about Ogden. We're notorious for that dog food smell, so I have a shirt that says, "Wake up and smell the dog food." But don't let that deter you. Ogden is awesome.
Yeah, I have seen that t-shirt. That's pretty epic. Well, this has been Jordan Smith with the Elevate Ogden podcast, where Ogden's influencers and business owners share the very best kept secrets about our city. It is 6 questions in 8 minutes and 44 seconds, because every zip code in Ogden starts with 844. Thank you again so much, Tim, and have a good one.
Thank you.